No, your eyes aren't deceiving you. You are looking at a Rolls-Royce that features 8-bit graphics. What you're looking at here is the Black Badge Ghost Gamer. And just quickly, before we get into the details, I want to very quickly give a little bit of context as to what it is this commission is based on. So as you can guess by the name Black Badge Ghost Gamer, this is based on a Rolls-Royce Ghost Black Badge. It's a Series 2 version of the Ghost, and being the Ghost is the smaller of the two limousines that Rolls-Royce make, the Phantom being the bigger one. The Black Badge part of the name is worth just stopping and talking about briefly. So the Black Badge cars that Rolls-Royce make tend to be a little bit more driver focused, so they're more for the owner driver versus somebody who likes to sit in the back, and they seem to get a more modern treatment when it comes to luxury versus some of the more old school touches that you might find across the rest of the Rolls-Royce range. So yeah, Black Badge Ghost Series 2, that here has been transformed into the Black Badge Ghost Gamer. Let's get into the details. So, Black Badge Ghost Gamer, inspired by the golden age of arcade games. This is the first ever bespoke Rolls-Royce inspired by the vintage video game culture. It features pixel blaster starlight headliner and a laser base illuminated fascia. I'll show you the photos whilst I'm talking about things, so hopefully you know exactly what part of the car this is referring to. All of the sort of hallmark parts of this car, it seems, have been transformed in some way to be inspired by late 70s and early 80s video games. And like I say, it is a very strange thing for Rolls-Royce, but it looks cool. And I think at the bottom of this press release is the reason as to why they've done it. So yeah, we'll get to that point eventually. Let's get through this first. So interior and exterior details are based on bespoke 8-bit cheeky alien motif. Arcade-style artwork hand-painted on a technical fibre interior surfaces. Hidden retro gaming-inspired details turn the motorcar into a game of its own. So what this paragraph here is saying, or this quote, is that the design team immersed themselves over the course of a month in lots of 8-bit aesthetic gaming paraphernalia. So they've looked at the games themselves, they've looked at archive imagery of arcade halls and original promotional and cabinet artwork, which is very cool. As well as capturing the distinctive colour palette, mood and atmosphere of this rich source material, we wanted the client to feel that the motorcar itself was an immersive experience and that every time they stepped inside it would recreate the same thrill they felt when they pressed start on that arcade machine for the very first time. So this has been made for an individual client who is obviously a fan of arcade games, and they've obviously paid a lot of money to get a Black Badge Ghost Gamer for themselves. So Rolls-Royce unveils it, a bespoke commission. I'm going to gloss over these bits because you don't want me to read through every single word. A bespoke commission inspired by the 8-bit universe of vintage video games. It was created for a client with a deep passion for early video game culture. And it is, here we go, incorporates lots of references to gaming, which you'll have seen already. And here is a list of those details. So the details include a hand-painted cheeky alien exterior coachline motif, player one seat embroidery, pixel blaster starlight headliner, a unique laser base illuminated fascia, and a hidden cache of joystick era Easter eggs. The discovery of every feature turns the motorcar itself into a stunningly crafted game. I do like the wording they've used throughout this. They've done a good job, I think. So this here is talking about how it's inspired by arcade gaming culture. We know, we can see what it looks like and we can tell by its name. And it's just them kind of justifying why they've done it, I think. So it's inspired by arcade gaming culture, a rapidly emerging space in the contemporary collectibles landscape, defined by early video games, vintage consoles and early media formats. Several Rolls-Royce clients are actively engaged in this growing market. Yeah, I think this is them basically saying, we want a slice of the pie. There's some money to be made in this, and we want to be appealing to those people who've made money in this industry. Fair enough. So this is talking about the main colour scheme, and I do quite like this actually. It's something they possibly could have glossed over slightly, but it's presented in a striking two-tone finish with the main body in Salamanca blue and the upper body in a deep shimmer crystal over diamond black, a theme that echoes the super metallic neon-lit aesthetic of classic arcade hardware. So I guess if the interior of this car is the game, it's nice that they've done the exterior in a way that mimics the arcade or gaming machine. Yeah, that seems good to me. This is talking about the motif along the side. So Rolls-Royce designers work closely with the client to develop a unique motif to codify the commission. Nicknamed the Cheeky Alien, it appears as a hand-painted green coach line motif alongside the pink 8-bit explosion design on one side of the motor car and yellow and blue on the other. Created from 89 individual pixels, each just 3mm by 3mm, it recalls the bit-mapped graphics of early video games. So this Cheeky Alien, it looks very jolly, and this is Rolls-Royce proving they can have fun with their bespoke commissions, I think. Here's a shout out to their illuminated grille, which they say continues the theme of retro-futuristic, which I guess it does because it's an old school inspired design, but it's futuristic, it lights up. Completing it, they've given it black brake calipers and some wheels. Yeah, I don't know too much how much there is special. Anyway, interior then. So this is where most of the transformation has happened. So the black and, I don't know how to pronounce that, tan interior suite of the Black Badge Ghost Gamer is a richly layered and tactile homage to the early digital age and where the game truly begins. Each detail has been designed and crafted to reward exploration, echoing the logic and visual language of late 1970s video game arcade. Of a late 1970s video arcade, sorry. The seats, now this is cool, so each seat has player 1, player 2, player 3 or player 4 embroidered on the back of it, and that's a really good touch. Big fan. So let's read about it. The seat features bespoke embroideries with player 1 and player 2 in the front and player 3 and player 4 in the rear, rendered in an 8-bit style font. The colours used in the stitching take inspiration from the electric flickering hues displayed on vintage arcade monitors. This is contrasted with the block colour Cheeky Alien embroideries on each headrest. Like the coachline motifs, the artwork is made up of individual pixels, 89 in total per design, creating a richly tactile graphic. I think they're quite keen on this tactile part. I think it's that emotion of feeling something with your hands in this case, or fingers rather. They're kind of linking that to playing a game and the tactile nature of playing a game with a controller. It has to be said, it's easy to dismiss some of this as maybe a little bit tacky almost, but I think it's very well done, really. So props to Rolls-Royce. They've had some fun with it by the looks of it, and it doesn't come off wrong. It seems really well done and really well thought out. So here's some more stuff. The area between the rear seats, named the waterfall, is finished in the Black Badge technical fibre and embellished with another tribute to early gaming iconography. And how have they done that? Well, they've inlaid 2 stainless steel flying saucer spaceships, because why not? And they hover above a hand-painted lunar scene with a starscape backdrop, a design inspired by the artwork of early video game cabinets. Yeah, that's cool. This is talking about how long it took them to do that. Not the most useful. It took them a while, basically. It wasn't easy to do. I don't think any of us who were looking at it would think it was an easy thing to do. And then to add an extra layer of celestial intrigue, they've added a subtle silver sparkle to the lacquer of all the technical fibre surfaces. What's the technical fibre surface? It says it up here somewhere, doesn't it? I think it's just the finish they give to parts of the interior. So the area between the seats is finished in a Black Badge technical fibre, and they've added some extra silver sparkle to make it seem more like space. And to go one step further, on some of these surfaces, they've even included Easter eggs. So the rear picnic table has a metal Cheeky Alien inlay on the upper surface. The 8-bit motif is also engraved on the hidden side of the front black chrome eyeball vent. Cool. Didn't think we were supposed to know where the Easter eggs were. That was the whole point of them. But it's cool they've included them and made reference to that very iconic part of video game culture. And there's just a few more bits to talk about now. So first up there is the illuminated fascia, and that is the part of the dashboard that sits in front of the passenger. So what have they done here is they've subtly reworked it to evoke the laser-based backdrops of many early games. It includes a ship composed of 85 individual stars, while the constellations themselves are adjusted so the ship appears to surge through the starfield. And looking at the imagery, it does, to be fair. Again, it looks really well done, and that is a line I think Rolls-Royce have probably been treading very carefully with this. How can we make it well done and obviously inspired by video games without making it tacky? And then this here is talking about the headliner. So obviously in every Rolls-Royce, the iconic bit is the star headliner that everybody loves to take photos of when they're in one. And with this, they have changed it so the black badge Ghost Gamer is crowned with a Pixel Blaster Starlight headliner. A formation of 80 bitmapped battle cruisers spans the canopy, each crafted using hand-placed fibre optic lights. The Mark's signature shooting star function, so I think that's when it appears as a shooting star in a headliner, has been reprogrammed to simulate laser fire and beams of light pulsed from the ships across the ceiling, adding nostalgic drama to the night sky. The commission is completed with bespoke illuminated tread plates visible when the doors are open. Engraved in the same 8-bit graphic lettering as the seat embroidery, they display classic arcade game prompts: press start, loading, level up, and insert coin. So there you go. That is everything that they've done to this black badge to create the black badge Ghost Gamer, inspired by the golden age of arcade games. And I think it's safe to say it is inspired by the golden age of arcade games, and Rolls-Royce have done a very good job. As to why they've done it, well, this is explained here in the last paragraph. So, delivered to a tech entrepreneur, the commission shows how Black Badge responds to the passions, tastes, and cultural codes of a new generation of collectors who dare to play differently. Essentially, I think this is them saying, we can create whatever you want. If you've made money recently and maybe wouldn't come to Rolls-Royce because you think it's a bit too old school, don't worry about it, we've got you covered. Fair enough. Overall, it's a very playful one from Rolls-Royce, to be honest, and I think it's very well done, as I've mentioned a few times in this. But let me know what you think. Is this good, or is it Rolls-Royce kind of ruining their heritage? That maybe seems a bit of a dramatic way to put it. Anyway, that's it for this video. Please remember to like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Cheers.